the very first thing I think about, even after years of doing this, is still, gee, I wonder what's on my phone.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Serious question, want an honest answer. What do you do when you first wake up? What's the first thing that you do when you first wake up? If the answer is grab that phone, stay tuned. I want to pause here to remind you that we're sponsored by ANow Software. ANow will help you to organize your day. Of course, that's what we're talking about, is getting organized and staying on top of things. ANow will help you to do that with your appraisal business. Check them out by going to the web and typing in anow.com, anow.com. Folks, I can tell you it can be super, super overwhelming. Every single day, the onslaught of information and dings and inboxes and text messages and TikToks and conversations and phones ringing and everything else, to-do lists. Folks, how many of you go to work every single day with about 15, 20 items on your to-do list, and you maybe come home with 3 or 4 of those done? You are not alone. It is very, very challenging in the world that we live in. Folks, we live in the information age, and in many ways, that's great. In many ways, the availability of information is awesome. In many ways, it can really, really, really pound on us and hurt us in our psyche if we don't get on top of it and find systems that work. Now, I will begin today by telling you that I don't have a perfect system, and there are days when I'm just like, oh my hell, when will it stop, right? But I've found some things that work over the years. I've found some things that allow me to kind of stay on top of things, and I'm going to start today with your morning routine, because to me, that's where it all begins. I used to be just like everybody else. And by the way, I do slip into this every once in a while as well. Especially when I'm waiting for something that I know is important and it didn't come the night before, I will freely admit I do sometimes reach for my phone thinking, oh, did that question get answered? But I can tell you for the most part, folks, that is not my daily routine. And the reason it's not is not because it's not a temptation. It's not because it's not the first thing I think about when I wake up. It truly is. But I have disciplined myself to know that if the first thing I do when I wake up is reach for that phone and start returning messages, that's the setting, the foundation, if you will, for the rest of the day. And I'll be honest with you, that's not the kind of days that I enjoy. Days where all I do is spend time answering messages, phone calls, inboxes, text messages, you name it, and just trying to plow through my to-do list are not days that I come home very happy. And I've learned over the years to discipline myself to do other things. Again, I want to make this very clear. The very first thing I think about, even after years of doing this, is still, gee, I wonder what's on my phone. Okay? And I do keep my phone within distance of the bed. I know that some gurus would say that's a bad thing to do. Folks, there's a reason. I'm going to justify it. You ready for this? My in-laws are very sick right now. I am one of the first contact people for them. I do put my phone on silent, and people that know that they need to get a hold of me, they know they need to ring the phone twice. They need to call, hang up, ring again, and it will ring through. I can tell you so far, so good. That's worked out well. I don't usually get woken up in the middle of the night with something because it is on silent, the notifications, but I do need to have that phone within reaching distance simply because of the situation with my in-laws who are aging and having some medical issues right now in my hometown. That being said, I'm not a big fan of having a phone close to the bed. I don't like it for many, many reasons. It probably should not be the last thing you do when you go to bed, and it probably should not be the first thing you do when you wake up. One of the things that I've done over the years is developed a routine I call prime time, and I talk about that in my Go Remodel Your Appraisal Office Business workshop, which talks a little bit about the mindset and the foundation and the way that I believe truly inspires my day if I can pause and take time for myself before anything else. Folks, I typically do not wake up to an alarm. And unless I have something early in the morning that's important. My biological clock usually wakes me up somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30 every morning. That's usually plenty of time to do my prime time. Prime time does not take that long. About a half hour, maybe even 20 minutes. If I'm in a hurry that day, I can get through my prime time. I'm not going to go into detail, but the point is I take time for myself to meditate, to think inwardly, to get my mind straight for the day, to go over my goals and not have to worry about the messages to begin with. Folks, I can tell you, on the days that I reach for my phone, which are very rare, but on the days that I reach for my phone first, my days go very different, typically, than they do otherwise. It truly does set a mindset for the day. When we get back from the break, I want to talk to you about what my day looks like after that. Not that we're going to go through detail, but I want to share with you just a few ideas that might be helpful to you as you get through the day, help you to stay organized and help you to stay on top of things. Speaking of staying organized and on top of things with your appraisal business, folks, that's why I use ANOW software. ANOW organizes every order, organizes every stat, organizes every appraiser, where they're going, appointments, clients, you name it. It's all there at the touch of a button. It's more than a CRM. It is a management system for appraisers. Check them out by going to anow.com. That's ANOW.com. All right, folks, we're talking today about your day. We're talking today about the onslaught of information that is out there. I just want to share with you a few ideas. Before the break, we talked a little bit about my morning routine and setting your mindset for the day. But let's face it, every single day, there's going to come a point, whether you put it off in the morning or you jump right into it, that you're going to have to face those messages. You're going to have to face those, that inbox, the text messages. We use Slack for two of my businesses. And that truly is busy as well. There's just, in this information age, a lot coming at us, not to mention our to-do list, right? And the question is, how do we get through the day without just being overwhelmed by so much? I'm going to give you a couple things, and these are not in order of importance. These are just things that come to mind as I go through my day, some things that I've learned. Number one, I keep my inbox clean. My goal is to have a what I call inbox zero every night. That means every day I either clean it out, or at the end of the day, I take the 3 or 4 emails that are left and I snooze them to either the next morning or maybe Monday or maybe the weekend, depending on what they are. I snooze them to the best time when I know that I'll have the best chance of getting to those things. Okay, I did a whole podcast on inbox zero. Check that out if you want more details on how that works. The other thing that I've done over the years is I create a system where basically everything that's important goes to my inbox. So whether that be an email or a to-do item, if I'm out and about and I think, oh, I really need to check on those mattresses that I ordered, then I send an email to myself. That's right, an email to myself. Dear Dustin Harris, check on those mattresses. Because I do inbox zero, if that thing is still in my inbox, it means it's still undone. And I'll leave it there until I get it done. That's kind of the process that I go through each day to kind of keep things clean. I know many of you work very differently, that you've got an inbox just full of read and unread email. Trust me, folks, when I say that is a difficult and challenging process to get through, and it can feel overwhelming. When you open up your email and there are more than 1,000 emails in there, my wife, okay, that will give you an automatic sinking feeling of undoneness. Okay, when I go to bed at night and I see that little icon in the middle of the screen that says you're all caught up, which is what Gmail tells me when I'm all done, I'm telling you, folks, it is absolutely incredible. It really is a good feeling. I feel like, even though I snooze some things, I feel like I got some things done. The other thing that I would talk about today is time blocking. If you want more information on this, look up Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Workweek guy. He talks about time blocking, where you actually schedule time to return messages. And you schedule specific times. You might even tell people, hey, I check my messages at 9 a.m., 12 a.m., and 4 p.m. That's it, right? So if you send me a message at 1 p.m., I will not see it till 4 p.m. If it's urgent and an emergency, here's my phone number, but do not call that phone number unless it's absolutely urgent and an emergency. The other thing I'll leave you with today is the great experience of finding someone to help you to manage all of this. Okay. Now, maybe not necessarily your personal inbox, though that may be a possibility as well, but at least with your business information, your business communication, whether it be phones or text or email or Slack. Folks, trust me when I tell you that hiring somebody who can help filter, okay, who can be that guard at the gate, if you will, and only pass on to you stuff that they really cannot take care of, makes all the difference in the world. Speaking of all the difference in the world, again, my prime time is available still through my workshop, the Go Create Some Value workshop. It is the original workshop that we traveled around doing. We recorded the last one that we did in Washington, D.C. Great information, including this and more. Check it out by going to my website, theappraisercoach.com/products.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
That means every day I either clean it out, or at the end of the day I take the 3 or 4 appraisals. Where's my mindset?